everyone. This is Anupa Dasgupta from Role Model Rebels, and today we are here with a fantastic guest, Emily Carrig, the founder of True Stars, a decentralized magazine. So, over to you, Emily. Waiting to hear a lot about what you're doing and your journeys.
Hey, Anupa, thank you. So my name's Emily Carrig, and I'm the founder of True Stars, and we are a decentralized media company. That's what we're building. Um, and our focus is on lifestyle and creativity in emerging tech and Web3. So yeah, thanks. Really excited.
So just to start with, you can tell us what True Star is all about. They're gaining so much of, speed. What made you decide to do this? How did you come up with it? And what were the primary, basically, interests that you thought that, yes, we need a platform for decentralized media?
Yeah, so I guess I'll tell you a little bit about my journey in crypto and Web3. So I got into the Web3 space back in 2020, like a lot of people did. Uh, we were all stuck in our homes and spent probably a little bit too much time on the internet and our phones. And that's when I started buying crypto and just educating myself on blockchain and all these things that were happening and really like gaining speed. Um, and then I got into NFTs, of course, soon after because I come from an art background and I was very interested in art and um, True Stars came into the picture in early 2022. We were, I was just exploring opportunities, and I had a completely different co-founder. We had uh, like I guess it was the time when the NFT bull market was really taking off, and there was a lot of interest in NFTs. So, um, my co-founder and I at the time were just going to do a PFP project, and
Okay.
it was about True Stars, like the name True Stars. It was all about being your true self. And then let's see, that year, it took some time. Like everything takes longer than you expect it to when you're building. And the market just went, it kind of did like a slingshot, went up and then all of a sudden crashed. And especially around the time when the FTX scandal happened, that was when a lot of people just lost confidence in the space. And my co-founder and our other team members decided to leave and work on other projects. So I still love the idea of True Stars, and we had worked on it for quite some time, and I felt like there was still something that I could do with it. And over the last couple of years, I had built up a following as a content creator, writing about Web3 and crypto related topics. So um, I felt at the time, but I guess I should talk about after that. Like there was a series of like very um, you know difficult events that at that point.
Yeah.
Our team broke up, and then um, I got scammed, and I lost a large amount of crypto. Like it was actually NFTs, but valuable
Yeah.
NFTs. It was actually like um, it was worth about like half a Bitcoin. Which it's not like a lot, but as Bitcoin keeps going up in price, like you know, obviously it'd be great to have that money.
Yeah.
Um, but I at that point realized that I couldn't sustain making money just by trading NFTs and the market, obviously, because it's too volatile. And I wanted to be able to monetize what I was doing, which was writing content. And I didn't want to work for anyone else at that point. Um, so I looked into opportunities out there for independent content creators to monetize their work, and I felt like it was very limited. Twitter is coming out with royalty share or revenue shares and, rewards for like really like the top 1% of influencers that, you have to get like 5 million impressions or something to actually
Yeah.
get to make some money. And I just got tired of putting out my best content just to generate ad revenue for LinkedIn and these other web 2 platforms.
Yeah.
So my um the way that things had evolved, I thought about True Stars as I was experimenting with the artwork and everything. I thought about it more of as like a magazine, like True Stars, True Stars magazine. Um, and I noticed that, I'm a content creator with problems monetizing what I do. There are probably a lot of other content creators in the same boat as I am. And
And this is one of the issues even with Web 2, that there is, how do you monetize? Like, let's say, looking at writers, editors, anybody within the publishing, industry, monetization is, a subject that, you need to kind of address. And especially when something like a decentralized world has access to, the creator's economy, it was a fantastic idea for you to actually push through with this idea.
thanks. Yeah, I mean, it's a big problem, right? That
Mm,
a lot of companies are trying to solve right now, but they're I feel like they're not doing it in a way that puts puts smaller creators
yeah.
in the advantage. So I just felt like if we came together, if we created a community driven magazine that's neat, it's more niche, we could help people create, gain exposure for, the content that they're making. Um, and I could invite people in my network who are making good content and give them spots in the magazine, and they could write their own columns and
Yeah.
become contributors. So that's
And I think this approach of creating something which has, you know, which brings access, to people to their data on a platform is something that will have a larger, resonance with a lot of people. So let's say in terms of, accessing censorship in something like this, because decentralization also comes with a lot of what do you call it, a lot of faceless beings. So how would that work, in would it give, let's say, writers in asylum a space to project their work, or how do you see that happening? I'm not saying in reference to True Stars, but generally as a concept.
in general, yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
think that it's something that we're definitely considering because it's going to be a hot topic. And, you know, obviously people go to Twitter because they don't want to be censored. And there's some merit to that. But obviously, not
Yeah.
everyone agrees.
Yeah.
And since, you know, in respect to True Stars, we want it to be decentralized and we want people to be able to express themselves.
Yeah.
And we want them to be able to own their content. I think that the answer there it comes into the curation of it.
Yeah.
And so I want people to be able to publish. And I think in the earlier stages, what we want to do is have have article submissions approved in the first few. The first three articles that people submit would be approved by the editorial team. And then after that, what longer term, what we have in mind is, um, anyone can publish, just sort of like on Medium or Mirror, no one's out there saying like, you can't
Yeah.
publish this.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think what we would do is curate the best content that we feel fits our editorial guidelines, and then that would be amplified to the front of the magazine, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. And in terms of like curation and community, how are you planning to bring like, marry these two concepts together within True Stars?
Yeah, I think that the community curation
Yeah.
aspect is an important part, and
Yeah.
for people to be able to add to articles and or correct things, just like similar to what they do on Twitter with community notes. I feel like that could really help in respect to like a magazine as well, in putting out the best information, and fact checking. Um, so yeah, I think having people up and down vote certain things can really help to bring up the best content.
Yeah, yeah. And in terms of, let's say, the viewership of the kind of content that you are, bringing to the community and outside, is there any kind of specific group that you're looking at, or is it just tailored for everybody to feel inclusive in the way that you disseminate your media?
Yeah, I think that the way I've always envisioned True Stars is that it's for everyone, and obviously there's bad actors out there that most likely they're not going to resonate with the more positive vibes of True Stars. So
Yeah,
I think that we will naturally attract people that believe in um, art and digital media and inclusivity, and also amplifying the underrepresented in Web3,
yeah,
especially.
yeah,
Um, so as far as like an audience type, I think we are exploring who reads. I think about who engages with my content generally. Um, there are a lot of women, but there are also a lot of men who've supported
yeah,
me and
yeah,
and are big fans of True Stars. So I think it's really for anyone who resonates with it. And
yeah.
yeah, I think one of the things we're working on is putting together audience profiles, because that can really help us,
Yeah.
as a
Yeah.
founder.
Yeah. And also the idea of a platform like this also reshapes the way that, let's say, writers can communicate within their profession, where it's given out to the community and there is like by the community for the community, and the way that it's going to be even used in terms of, let's say, its economics. Could you tell us a little bit more that, how it would work for writers?
Yeah, so that's a good question. I think we will have to test that out and see, which writers, can really see the value in what we're doing.
Mhm.
I think that generally it will be writers with a Web3 interest
Yeah,
and put out Web3 related content, but not necessarily. I
yeah,
think uh, we want to bring content creators and also more seasoned journalists
yeah,
and together and help to elevate the content that we produce.
yeah,
Um, I have this kind of this wild theory that everyone is becoming a citizen journalist. If if you're a content creator,
Yeah,
we're all becoming journalists basically. And
yeah,
it's really, I think there's an opportunity there for education and helping people to put out better content that is well researched and thought through.
yeah,
So that's something that we really want to do.
yeah,
Um, when it comes to media, a lot of people are saying that media is dying, and like the New York Times and all these other media companies are becoming more like tech companies. Um, and I think a lot of the reason people are saying that is because people get their information more and more from social media. They just don't trust traditional media.
yeah,
Um, so I think there's an opportunity there for community driven media
yeah,
to fill
yeah,
in the gaps.
yeah. And I think that that's definitely very valid, like, is the authenticity of the information that we get, uh, versus the the authenticity of the media that we are just, you know, just subjected to. And I think Two Stars can definitely be a place where, people find uh, you know um, information which is not directed with any preconceived, agenda, which is also very important in today's media. And do you have any very memorable or specific articles that you, or media that you resonate with, that you'd like to share?
Yeah. So we've just started putting out articles, I think, in the last month or two, and they've been, I've gotten submissions from people in the community, and it's been really cool. Like, there's some people that I reach out to personally because I like what they're doing, and then there's others
Yeah,
who took an
yeah,
interest and they've
yeah,
submitted
yeah,
articles because they've heard about what we're doing.
yeah,
And I think one of the collaborations I'm excited about recently was um, the content that we put out from Louise Lang. She's the founder
yeah.
of Fishbowl Twin, and Louise has just been so lovely and helpful. And I think she also just really took she really just realized how much she liked writing and that it was another outlet for her. But
Yeah,
yeah, she recently covered NFT Paris for us and talked about the fashion trends going on in NFT Paris.
yeah,
Um, and that was really cool. I'm like I'm not into the fashion side of Web3 as much. I came from more of like the degen, like
yeah.
crypto. um, I hate to say crypto bro because there's a lot of crypto women that
As
DJ.
well, yeah, yeah,
Um, but I'm really learning a lot about the people that are innovating in fashion and Web3, and I think
yeah,
I
yeah,
think it's really going to take off as an industry because there's a lot of potential there.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
and then what was really cool was Louise had written a couple of articles for us, and then as we had posted about them, the founder or the co-founder of Sandbox really liked one of the articles she wrote and put out a tweet and actually wrote about True Stars on all of his social media. So I think
Oh,
that's
that's
just,
fantastic.
yeah, it was really cool. And I think that it just goes to show that, community and collaborating can help to elevate not just our brand, but their work as well.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'm excited to see what we can do
yeah.
further.
And I think that's one of the things about, Web3, is that the ability to, collaborate and take partnerships at a different level. and encouraging each other, because that's how it works, and I've seen it happening much more on Web3. Bringing out people who might not really know about, let's say Web3, or know that, forging, these kind of partnerships. So talking about, let's say, the Web2 community, how do you see yourself interacting with them and bringing them into, Stu Stars? Because there are some fantastic stories around, let's say your area of interest, which are still, Web 2. Do you have any thoughts on, how the transition could happen?
Yeah, I've been thinking about it, and obviously we want to concentrate. I think we want to concentrate on Web3 content,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
there's a lot of potential to bring in people from the outside with a
yeah,
project like this.
yeah,
Um, and we also, we want creative professionals to understand the opportunities that are there for blockchain with blockchain
yeah,
and Web3 to help them.
yeah, yeah,
Um, we just did I just did a cover story on Shreya Bond, who's a visual fashion designer.
yeah,
Um, she spent, I think she has like 13 years in the fashion industry, and she's also a digital artist and got really into that during the pandemic. But then so one of her friends told her you should really look into NFTs, and she said that was not an area that I was interested in at all. I didn't know anything about it. I was really intimidated. She said, take my password and just like do whatever you're gonna do. And so luckily she had some friends to help her with that.
yeah,
Um, and she saw the value when she saw the communities and how much they resonated with her work
yeah,
and how
yeah,
her work was selling.
yeah,
And that's what really pushed her into learning more about it.
yeah,
So I think, these kind of stories will keep happening.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
she's not just a Web3, she didn't start in Web3. She started as a creative. And I think
yeah.
there's a lot of people like that.
Yeah, no, definitely. And that's a really inspirational story to also take forward in some way with True Star. Um, One of my last questions is that, as an entrepreneur, what, tell us about your journey. What are the, I would say, challenges, or what are the successes that you are addressing now? And let's say if tomorrow there is another person who wants to be a founder of something like yours, what's the message that you would have for them?
Yeah, that's great. A great question. So I've had my share of setbacks. I talked about a lot of them in the beginning, but I think you have to be prepared to pivot and just be constantly learning. Um, it's not an easy job, but if if you want to just go and get a paycheck every week, you know where you can do that. You can get a job,
Yeah,
but um, you really have to be passionate about building something different. And I've had, uh, I have to say, like it's been very challenging. Like it's not for everyone,
yeah,
but what I love about it is I'm testing out a lot of new things. I get to meet with people every day, and I just see it all as an opportunity. Um,
yeah. I mean, if it wasn't for the web, we wouldn't have. I don't know if we would have met or not, but
yeah, absolutely.
it's definitely something that is much more easier now.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't want to lie about it. It's been very challenging. There's been a
Mm,
lot of like, pulling my hair out and crying and,
mm,
um, but I feel like something always brings me back to True Stars, and I see a lot of potential in it. And I think it's all about the process. You have to love the difficult parts of it. Um, yeah, like I just don't know what else I would be doing, if it wasn't this. So,
Yeah, I agree that, like even as, founders, we all have those moments that are difficult. But I think with time, and especially with Web3, I'm sure it's for all startups that you learn on the go. And is there any uh, specific advice or something that you've actually learned on the go, which you now say that, yeah, this is what works, and which you would like to share with us?
well, I think that the thing that I really enjoy doing, and that's why I wanted to build a business around content creation. It's because that's what I just gravitated towards naturally. So I think you have to find what it is that you really enjoy. And I I liked learning about Web3 and all of these new things that were happening and then distilling that information and helping other people to understand it.
Yeah.
Um, I,
Um, from the time that you started to now, I'm sure there has been, there are a lot of things happening with, let's say the way that people are addressing media, with AI coming in. Have you seen any like relevant changes throughout, that has, influenced even in the way that people are writing, or anything that you've spotted? In because when I started uh, getting into the Web3, in the beginning it was just about NFTs, then it became about Web3, then it's suddenly went into understanding different kinds of tokens, then suddenly LinkedIn now is only about AI, and nothing else. So have you seen any significant changes or contexts that have come up?
um, yeah, I mean, AI definitely has been a big it's been a big topic and it's influenced the way people are writing. Like, I do use AI to help like rephrase certain things, like I, I kind of feel like I wrote way better before I started playing around with AI. Um, but it is very helpful when you're trying to come up with like outlines for a
Yeah.
particular piece or just brainstorming. I don't want to rely on it or use it that much because it takes the life out of your content. um, and so yeah, I think AI, it's great, but it's going to be interesting to see
Yeah.
how things, you know I think what it can be really really useful for is um, finding factual information, because a lot of writers, I don't have time to sit there and like research and like Google search every single thing that happened in a certain topic that I'm writing about, but I'll ask for some statistics in in I use Poe.com. They have Claude, um, the AI. And I feel like that's a great tool to like do market research and that sort of thing. And then, you can fact check that. And I'm expecting that sort of that element to get better. Um, I think that AI is already, um, they're already using AI for like plagiarism and
Yeah.
fact
Yeah.
checking and that sort of thing. And I only expect that to get better. Um, but yeah, it's a tough, like, it's sort of like the Promethean flame, it's like the fire from the gods or whatever, like it's a great thing, but it's
You have
also
to use it
probably
wisely.
right. It's like a can of worms, I'm sure. So
Yeah, so that comes to my last question. Now that we're looking into the future, what do you think the future of True Stars looks like? I know that it's all success and achievements, but with the growing let's say technology and these other ecosystems, where do you see True Stars heading?
Yeah, I just want it to be a place where content creators can come together and authentically shape culture and collaborate. And I have a lot of ideas around that. I think you just have to trust the whole process. And so um it's hard to say exactly like where things will go, but I'm just excited. I'm having fun doing it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it definitely shows, and I wish you all the best. So let's say if the community wants to reach out to you, how do they do that?
So you can go to truestars.media, and that's where our magazine is, and it has all of our social links on there. You can find my LinkedIn, our Instagram, and our X profile. You can follow us on there, and I think the best way to reach out to me personally is on LinkedIn. My name's Emily Carrig, and you can just send me a DM or connect and then send me a DM. And yeah, I'm excited to talk to you.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us for this wonderful conversation.
Thanks, Anupa. It's really always great to talk to you.